A very warm welcome to Madam Joint Secretary, all members and friends of IMI. Madam Secretary, our agenda of pulling you in was somewhere to co-opt you in our Vision 2022 to get India within the top 10 music markets of the world. We seem to be, as Blaise said, we seem to be making progress in that direction in spite of all the executive and economic headwinds that are coming against us. But we will need loads of help in the days to come. Fair value, this word, when it's seen only as an economic word, is quite plain and simple and I think straightforward. But the moment you attach this word fair value to the world of creativity, to the world of entertainment, suddenly can take a very different form and shape. I'll go to the extent of saying right now, it can be metaphorically compared to River Ganga. Now there'll be many of you guys, the moment you hear the word Ganga with the music industry will start laughing. The image of the music industry has not been the greatest in the past. I think there is lots that have not gone right in the past. But as a group of people right now, all the music labels and the artist community, we are taking now a lot of actions over the last few years to ensure that a lot of wrongs that were done are corrected now. Let me start simple things that are happening now. All our contracts, what is a contract? When we buy music from a film producer or we license music to partners, are all now getting clear and transparent. None of those underhand stuff, paper written stuff, verbal stuff is working out in the industry any longer. It works like every other industry functions. An input and output deal is a financial deal which is recorded properly. After a long to and fro right now between the music labels and the artist community, we finally came together with the music composers and the lyricists to form IPRS. 2017 is when IPRS was finally formed right now, with all of us sitting on the board of IPRS and the IPRS getting its copyright registration. The numbers of the revenue out there, if any of you is tracking, has gone up significantly. In fact, CSAC has now gone on record saying IPRS is the fastest growing copyright society globally. This is a good proof that when all the fighting parties right now come together and start saying, can we grow revenue together, miracles can go back and happen. And we are very, very sure something similar will get struck with the singer community also. We very clearly, as music labels, understand that we sell music only if somebody composes it, somebody writes it, and somebody sings it. Otherwise, what is a song? You won't have a song. And if there's no song, there's no music label sitting in there. These partners are very, very important for us, and we will find an equitable way right now to work with them and share the value. PPL. There have been a lot of things that have been said about PPL in the past. What we have done over the last few years right now, once again, is completely revamp that as an organization. All the policies, processes out there have been re-audited, revamped, so that all the leakages that were happening in the system right now have been taken away. We still have a long way to go. We still get accused at times right now that a tariff may not be right. It's a journey that we people have started right now, and we are very, very hopeful that PPL will become as open, as customer friendly, as globally these organizations are. Regional focus has been a very big thing. There's another thing which was happening out there where majority of the representative bodies of music industry were getting governed by only the big Hindi music labels. We are changing that across all of our societies and bodies. We are ensuring right now more and more regional focus is coming in, because let's accept the fact the real growth at this juncture that's coming in is coming in from the regional languages. Whether it's Tamil or it's Telugu or it's Punjabi or Malayalam or Bengali, the numbers are really going up, and it's absolutely fair that all the music labels who work in these languages get a fair representation in the decision-taking process of the industry. Small, but according to me, a very significant part. All these, Madam Joint Secretary, the organizations I spoke to you about, IMI, IPRS, PPL, another big change that has happened out here is the management out there has been completely changed, and there are professionals running these organizations. No longer you have people right now who've been there somewhere and who have been somehow managing to run these organizations. These are all career professionals who have come out there with a clear-cut agenda right now to completely revamp the organization and put them on the growth path. There's a good work which is happening right now where we're working with the government to reduce piracy. What is very heartening for me to see now is that more and more youngsters these days, 18 and 21-year-olds right now, they are very comfortable listening to music to legitimate means. It's the older people of my generation and even older than that right now who are the ones who are still indulging in piracy a little more. The younger people are getting comfortable with the idea of paying. And another, I don't know how many people know this fact, amazing fact of industry is 60% odd of all the music that gets heard on a say streaming platform is the music that came in the last 12 months. It's the newer music which is getting heard that much more. The advantage is as newer music comes more and more right now, new artists, younger generation artists are getting great breaks out here. Whether it is a composer or a singer or a lyricist, which is keeping the next crop of artists ready for all of us. We have done some work, we have a lot more work to do. And we are very, very sure right now, under the guidance of a dynamic minister, Shri Piyush Goyal, we should be able to go back and get this, our country, within the top 10 music markets of the world very, very soon. ये गंगा नदी, let me come back to Ganga. Why did I say Ganga? गंगा गंगोत्री में शुरू होती है और वो सारे नदन इंडिया के प्लेन से बहती हुई निकल के बे ऑफ बंगाल में जाती है. उस पूरे रास्ते में there are a lot more tributaries that start coming in. गंगा सिर्फ नदी नहीं है. गंगा touches the lives of crores of Indians economically, socially, and most importantly, spiritually. That's the importance of the river Ganga. No other river in India can claim to go back and do this. Imagine इस गंगा को अगर हम गंगोत्री पे ही had we decided right now that let's put a dam on it for whatever right or wrong reason, this entire millions of people who get their inspiration or livelihood out of Ganga would have been deprived of it had Ganga been dammed right at the source. Music industry की कहानी भी कुछ ऐसी है. If I see the last 10 years or so right now, somewhere it seems like right now that we are being damned at source. If the copyright owners who are spending crores of rupees creating content, marketing content, promoting content, don't get a fair value for their investment, don't have full right on their own creation, they've invested money, created an IP, at least then one should have complete control what to do with that IP. If that control is not out there, why will any organization right now, corporates have got a profit agenda at the end of the day. Why will any organization invest money? We want, music has got huge impact on the overall upliftment of people also. But at the end of the day, there is a commercial interest which is also sitting in. And if we need to find ways in which we can go back and unlock this value and most importantly get there be a fair and equitable distribution of the money that is getting generated. Now, this money part, there's a lot of misnotion I've seen right now. I thought let me spend 2 minutes telling you about how this money economic value moves. And let me take the example of film music. 60, 70, 75% of all music in India that's heard is primarily film music. Now, how does film music work? You have a movie producer who says, I want to make a film. He calls lyricists, he calls composers, he calls singers who create a song for the film. Film name is ABC. People came right now, created 5 songs for it. Producer pays the singer, lyricist, and the composer on a fair, equitable, whatever is the market situation out here. There are no rules, there are no regulations. It's 2 people deciding to work together at commercial terms that make sense to both the parties. So first transaction has happened. The new song that gets created is owned by the film producer. What does a film producer do now? The first thing a film producer sells, amongst what all rights has he got? Music rights, film digital rights to put it on Netflix and Amazon everywhere else, cable and satellite rights, theatrical rights, airline rights, there are lots of rights. And he has to make money through all to recover the cost of the film. But the first right typically any film producer sells are the music rights. Music rights go in a way right now to fund the cost of making the film. On an average, do you understand this? For a category film right now, any recent successful films you can take, a music label pays anything between 15 to 25 crore upfront for that music right. And on top of that, once that money is fully recovered, we pay up to 30% royalties in perpetuity. I can tell you the example of my own company right now. Saregama, we are still paying royalties for RK Films movies, or a Raj Kapoor movie, which was we would have taken the rights in 50s and 60s. The royalties still flow because all these royalty arrangements, by and large, are perpetuity arrangements. So we pay this 15 to 25 crore, we get the rights. Over the period of next 7, 10, 12 years, we will recover this, whatever money we have paid upfront, which is 15 to 25 crore, and then pay up to 30% royalties to the film producer.
50% now.
So the numbers can go even higher in that case, right? So that's the situation. We are paying royalties, but in our system, since it's not a singer or a composer who comes to us directly, he goes to a film producer sells the rights to us, we have to pay these royalties to the producer. Companies like our Saregama, listed companies, are numbers in the public domain. Now, what do? To recover a cost, we license this music. Now, the IP belongs to us as music labels. Producer had the first IP, he sold the IP across to us. As music labels, it's our job now to market this content and then license this content. So we spend marketing money, apart from the initial 15 to 25 crore we have paid. Now whom do we license it to? We license it to OTT or streaming platforms. We license it to television channels. We license it to radio stations and hope to make money out of public performance. 4 bigger avenues that we people have right now. These days, cassettes and CDs don't sell. Till now, all is fair right now going in. When the user, say a channel or an OTT platform, is licensing this music from us, they also need to clear a license from IPRS for the publishing rights. They are not allowed to go back and stream our music without clearing rights from publishing rights. Who is a member of IPRS? The authors, that means lyricist and the music composer, along with the IP owners, which are labels out here, they are collectively going and running IPRS. So the user needs to go and pay, and this money gets distributed equally between all the stakeholders. We hopefully will have a similar arrangement or some kind of arrangement with the singers also right now, where they also get some part of the money which is coming in. The singers and select composers have one more avenue to make money, which is this. Thankfully, this entire event market, wedding market is booming in this country right now. So a lot of people are invited for performances done during weddings or a corporate function right now or a college function. And these numbers can vary from 3 lakh to 3 crore for a single appearance. That's a range in which some of the bigger singers and composers are going out there and charging. Again, nothing wrong with it right now. These are market dynamics. If somebody is that good and somebody is demanding his or her price and the other party is ready to pay for it, I think it's an absolutely fair game which is happening. Nobody controls at what salary is a company hiring me. So why should anybody control what money should somebody be charging for an appearance at the wedding? Till now, things have flown very, very clearly right now. Ganga is moving everybody, the entire people who are investing in content, labels, people who are creating the content, singers, lyricists, composers, everybody is already getting or will be getting their fair share. Now, fair share kis cheez ka? This is a revenue that needs to be made. Where is the revenue getting made? And that's where the Ganga starts getting blocked. Let's talk about the first source of revenue, radio industry. Radio industry is what, 3,100 crore odd, 3,200 crore odd? Do you know how much they pay to the music industry? I'm sure most of you guys will agree that the biggest raw material that goes within a radio business is music. We get paid around 60 crore because somewhere it has been formulated that radio stations are supposed to pay only 2% of their top line towards the biggest raw material. I love that kind of a business. If I'm making a car Can I ever have my raw material cost which somebody fixes as 2%? But in the case of radio, that's how it's been fixed. We don't get paid more than 2% of their top line. On top of that, radio is not even acknowledging that they need to take a clearance from IPRS for publishing rights. So they are paying so little for sound recording and they're not even clearing the second right out there. I don't know how fair is it that a 1100 crore industry, music industry, is actually going out there and supporting a 3100 crore industry, which is the radio industry, when it should be the other way around. Television, better situation. But once again right now, our television, what are the, if I talk about some of the bigger shows, of Saregama, Little Champs, Dance India Dance, these are huge properties on television. They all work on music. Music which somebody created and some label invested in right now. If labels or the publishing society, IPRS, is asking for a legitimate share from a 70,000 crore plus industry of the music that we people are creating, are we being unfair? Television also has protection under statutory licensing, which binds up our ability to negotiate. And the things go little, till now things are still okay right now, because the biggest growth that music industry was getting was out of OTT, streaming, various words are used. These are audio streaming platforms. They are growing, that the business is growing right now, upwards of 40-50%. Millions of Indians today listen to music through streaming platforms. There was all simple voluntary licensing work going on between the labels and the streaming platform. Now, there's a point that everybody needs to understand out here is, and there's no right or wrong here. The business interest or focus of many streaming platforms, not all, is different from the focus of a music label. Streaming platforms work only on music. Very little content, not less than I think 1% of content will be non-music. All these audio streaming platforms work only on music. Their primary focus is to increase valuation. Do simple things along the lines of maybe what WhatsApp did. WhatsApp never made revenue. But the valuation was still huge because the valuation is decided, right or wrong. Valuation is decided on the basis of monthly active users and not on the basis of how much money you make. Any platform, if you take globally, video streaming platform or audio streaming platform, the stats that they use is monthly active user. And to get monthly active user, what do you need to do? Give all your content free. Because if you're giving content free in high quality, there will be more number of monthly active users coming in. That's what their focus is, nothing wrong with that. But the moment, what is the focus of a music label? We are not in valuations. We have paid serious amount of money right now to a film producer. Did anybody put a gun on our head and said, pay this money? No. It's a commercial call we took. But when we are negotiating for our rights also, the same commercial call should be taken out there. The flexibility should be left out there with us to go back and do a voluntarily commercial negotiations. And things were going right. Suddenly, there seems to be this sudden confusion or misinterpretation of some of the statutes that we have in legislation right now, on the basis of which the commercial negotiations have gone pretty awry. There's this threat of using 31D right now to go and get for commercial negotiation done on statutory basis rather than voluntary basis. The recent High Court judgment which has come in this direction right now has been a huge relief, and I think all of us are very comforted. But we will really urge government right now to come and clarify this once and for all, so that it's left right now to voluntary discussions between two parties. Our input is a voluntary negotiation between us and the film producers. We want our output. The only way to make money today is streaming. We want that to be left to the voluntary negotiation between the two parties. Public performance. So public performance got two aspects right now. One, I think the general feeling in our country right now is that, listen, for public performance, you don't need to take a license. So it becomes very difficult to convince people that if you are exploiting music in a public area, recorded music right now, in a public area, be going out there and taking licenses for that. It's an uphill task for us right now, and we keep on working right now with government, try to educate people. It doesn't help that public performance copyright infringement is not getting the amount of importance maybe which needs to have right now from the judicial side or the police side. Because I don't think people fully understand what is this public performance and why do they need to take a license. And it's not that in public performance, the music industry is not to be blamed. As if there was not enough confusion, we have messed it up even further by having three bodies. There are three bodies in this country right now. Every few labels have gone out there and made one body out here. All of them go to the market to the same user and start saying right now license low. Poor user does not know whether the song belongs to label A or label B. Now he needs to first understand what is he going to play and then take relevant licenses. I think there's serious amount of confusion and we owe it to the user to remove this and have a single body. We once again urge Honorable Joint Secretary right now that if you can go back and grant license to one body, which we believe the best represented body is PPL, and we promise you we'll get the entire industry under the single body so that we can all work in a fair and transparent fashion. Tariff that is making sense to the user, we'll engage with them right now on the tariff fixation, and there will be a single license that needs to be issued. Our last part is what Blaise spoke about, piracy. It's one of those never-ending things right now. IFPI reports that some 76% of content heard, it's still pirated. The way I look at it is, it has fallen down from 89% to 76%. I think we people are on the right track. And we appreciate the value which streaming platforms bring to the table to reduce piracy. I think much more can happen out here. Great things are happening in Maharashtra. We need to ensure right now that this goes beyond Maharashtra into all states, where we can work with the local crime units, local government to control piracy. So much is happening. Just imagine if some of these blockages can get out, whether it's the fear of statutory licensing at any particular time, or not having any public performance society getting a copyright status, or getting a fair remuneration from the radio industry that pays us 2%. I think if all that can happen, just imagine the amount of value that can be unlocked. We keep on thinking of this music industry as big thing. We're just a 1100 crore industry. Indian film music right now and non-film music heard by 1.3 billion people and outside. If we go back and say 1100 crore is a fair enough part and we're all fighting with each other right now to get something out of the 1100 crore, I think we're just being silly. I think the scope to grow this is significant. There are three big, if this musical Ganga can flow right now unhindered, I see three immediate advantages coming in apart from revenue part. It will start giving rise to a much balanced film and non-film sectors, which means labels are going to go back and start investing in the artists directly. What happens in other parts of the country? There's no film music. Labels go back and start getting into deals with artists. Something similar will start happening in our country too. Whereas labels, we will not just buy film music, but we will go to top quality singer, lyricist, composer and start developing them so the non-film music can also start coming in. It will be great for the entire industry. Second big part right now will be the growth of regional content. This digital democratization that has happened in our country right now is ensuring that more and more regional music is coming up. Tamil, Telugu, Punjabi, Bhojpuri, they're all going out there in the mainstream. If you see right now the phenomena or Malayalam rap, I wouldn't have thought right now Malayalam rap and Malayalam pop will have its own market, but digitization is doing that. If the value can be unlocked, then the artists will find it out there good for them to go back and create that content, and we labels will find it worthwhile to invest in that content. So that then we know right now more value can be created for us too. And the third part right now, which I think is pretty important, music allows us as a country to exert our soft power. What Hollywood did for America, music is capable of doing right now for India. With the number of our diaspora, which is settled outside, the power of music, there are so many discs and bars you go globally, and you realize out there, in the night you may have a Bollywood track or a Punjabi Bhangra track going on out there. It has the potential to go back and exert India's soft power in a very big fashion. I'd like to conclude by saying, music industry touches the life of many and will continue doing so. Music industry generates employment, and I think that numbers are going to go up significantly. It contributes to GDP, and more than that right now, music contributes to the overall upliftment of people. If we can all go out there and just work together and ensure some of the hurdles are removed from our way, we can go back and not just become within the top 10. Hopefully, we will be within the top 5 of the music markets in the world. Thank you.